Good morning, children. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend well. In previous class, we have learned about coal, how is it formed, and also about the destructive distillation process and their products with its uses. So, today we shall learn about petroleum. As we know, petroleum is also one of the fossil fuels. It contains hydrocarbons. Depending on the number of carbon atoms present, there are different components which are separated by a process called fractional distillation. Generally, distillation means it is a process of separating the substances from a liquid mixture depending on their boiling points and undergoing condensation process. So we shall see a small video on petroleum.
Welcome to the lesson on petroleum and natural gas. At the end of the lesson, we will be able to describe the formation of petroleum and natural gas, list the constituents of petroleum and their various uses, list the advantages of natural gas as a fuel, identify the uses of natural gas. Petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as cars, scooters and motorcycles. Heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors run on diesel. Petrol, kerosene and diesel are obtained from natural resources called petroleum. Petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. As these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with layers of sand and clay. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas. Oil and gas are lighter than water, hence they do not mix with water. The world's first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. 8 years later, in 1867, oil was struck at Markum in Assam. In India, oil is found in Assam, Gujarat, Mumbai High, and in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna. The process of separating the various constituents of petroleum is known as refining. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Petroleum is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. Petroleum gas in liquid form is commonly called liquefied petroleum gas and is used as fuel for home and industry. Petrol is used as motor fuel, aviation fuel, and solvent for dry cleaning. Kerosene is used as fuel for stoves, lamps, and for jet aircrafts. Diesel is used as fuel for heavy motor vehicles and electric generators. Lubricating oil is used for lubrication in vehicles and machineries. Paraffin wax is used for preparation of ointments, candles, and Vaseline. Bitumen is used for preparing paints. These days it is also used for road surfacing. Many useful substances are obtained from petroleum and natural gas. These are termed as petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are also used in the manufacturing of detergents, fibers, polythene, and other man-made plastics. Hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas is used for the production of fertilizers. The process of separating the various constituents of petroleum is known as refining. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Petroleum is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. The biggest advantage of natural gas is that it is easy to transport through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, commonly called CNG. CNG is used for power generation. It is now being used as a fuel in vehicles and is called clean fuel. Natural gas is made up of carbon and hydrogen. In our country, natural gas is found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in Krishna Godavari Delta.
Children, in video you might have observed about the formation of petroleum and also their uses, and also we have learnt about compressed natural gas. So here in the picture you can observe that at different temperatures the different components are formed. For example, if you see at 150 degrees Celsius, petrol is separated from the crude oil. At 200 degrees, kerosene is separated. So, according to the temperature, the different components are separated by different fractions. That is the reason why it is called as fractional distillation. Distillation is a process where we can separate the different components depending upon their boiling points. So here also you can observe that there are different fractions formed by which the different components are separated according to their boiling points. So now we shall learn about how energy and technological development is taking in our daily life. Our energy needs means, for example, usage of energy in different fields have been increasing day by day due to two reasons. First one is increase in population. The other reason is we are in progress to develop new technologies. For that we require more energy to run new factories and also power to the new gadgets made by the use of new technologies. For example, you might have observed nowadays in most of the medical shops, shopping malls, general stores, computers are used, and also you can see for the usage of CC camera footage also we require computers. For the usage of computers require large amount of electrical energy. So now we shall learn about how energy and technology development is taking place in our daily life. Our energy needs means usage of energy in different fields have been increasing day by day due to two reasons. First one is increase in the population, and the other reason is we are in progress to develop new technologies. For that we require more energy to run new factories and also power to the new gadgets made by the use of the new technology. For example, you might observe Nowadays, in most of the medical shops, shopping malls, general stores, computers are used, and also you can see CC cameras are used. For that also we require computer to observe. For the usage of computer, we require large amount of electrical energy. So here in some areas in which energy consumption has increased several times are as follows. For example, manufacturing goods in industries uses up a large amount of energy. In agricultural field also, you can observe for the running of machines, tube wells, tractors, we require energy. For the processing of food and storage of food in cold storage, houses use up huge amount of energy. Means of transportation require large amounts of energy in the form of fuels or electricity. In our daily life, you can observe metro rail, trains, etc. We use much more energy at home today due to the increased number of electrical gadgets like mobile phones, inductive stoves, etc, and also like refrigerators, air conditioners, washing machines, etc. So we can say that electricity is the major source of energy today. As we know that electrical energy is not a natural resource of energy, and also we have seen in this chapter that energy is produced in many ways, both by conventional and also by non-conventional sources of energy. In our country today, the supply of electrical energy is far lower than our requirements. That is why we suffer power cuts. Several of our villages do not have electricity properly. In several other villages where electricity is available but the supply is insufficient, this affects us in several ways. Our food production suffers as sufficient electricity for proper irrigation is not available. For example, when a farmer is working in a field and using a machine, if suddenly power supply is not available, then the food production may disturb. And also in the industrial production, factories also need electricity. If there is a shortage of electricity, there will be a inconvenience to run the machines. So all this affects the development of our country. Next, preventing energy crisis. As our energy needs increase at a tremendous pace, means it has been increased a lot, so there will be a possibility of energy crisis. Crisis means there might be a deficiency, there might be a less. So the steps we need to take to prevent this are as follows. Using energy judiciously. Judiciously means very carefully. So we need to not waste energy. So here are few steps to follow to save energy. Switching off lights, fans, etc. when not in use. Using air coolers, air conditioners, room heaters, geysers, etc. only when needed. Reducing the flame while cooking, and when the water starts boiling, to save fuel. And here are some other methods where energy spent is less. Using CLCs and tube lights, or better LEDs, which are now available, though still expensive. but CLCs have toxic mercury in them which LEDs do not have. So better to use LEDs which use less energy instead of normal bulbs. Using public transport instead of private vehicles as much as possible, or by walking or cycling along small distances. Using pressure cookers for cooking. Using efficient smokeless chullas in houses instead of kerosene, coal or wood for cooking. In previous days, kerosene, coal or wood is used for cooking, by which smoke was released, by which it may leads to pollution. So these smokeless chullas can be used to avoid the release of smoke. Reducing the cooking time by soaking pulses for some time before cooking and keeping vessels covered while cooking. Judicious means careful use of energy has two main advantages. It will delay the energy crisis and it will give our scientists more time to develop more efficient alternate sources of energy. Conservation of fossil fuels. In India, almost 30% of the petroleum we need. Remaining percent is exported. So the exhaustible resources like coal and petroleum will be finished soon if we do not manage them properly. We can also use natural gas as a substituent. Means instead of petroleum and coal, we can also use natural gas as a substitute. The reserves of natural gas discovered by us have gone up 10 times within 20 years. Here, alternative sources of energy such as solar, wind and biomass should be used in place of fossil fuels. You can observe nowadays solar panels and also windmills. Rather than only using the fossil fuels, we can also use the alternate sources which are present in our surroundings. If we continuously keep on using the fossil fuels, one day the fossil fuels will be extinct. Biogas is a cheap and convenient fuel for our rural population. What is meant by biogas? The gas which is released by a living organism is termed as biogas. It is very cheap and also very convenient fuel. The people who are living in the villages and small towns. It is produced by waste products like human waste, cattle dung, garbage, etc. This effective use of biomass to derive many products of industrial and commercial importance has increased with the progress in biotechnology. Biotechnology means the use of living cells and bacteria in industrial and scientific processes. So children, by this we will be completing our first lesson, coal and petroleum. Children, try to apply these all in your daily life. Try to save energy and guide your parents as well as your younger ones, so that for the future generations we can give them a best. I hope you all have understood the lesson. Thank you children. Take care.